Hey guys, what's going on? This is the Cubone here, and as of always, I am wearing teal and black like a Duval cat because I am here to talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars. And in this video, I'm going to give you guys my predictions on how I think the Jaguars are going to do in 2023. It's kind of mind-boggling that the preseason's already over. We're already like a week and a half or so from the start of the regular season. It's kind of wild. It feels like it was just like this last month was just the draft, and now all of a sudden, bam, we're already here at the start of the regular season. Anywho, enough rambling on. Let's go ahead and talk about how I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to do. So last year, I said the Jaguars were going to go 12-5. Yeah, win and loss record-wise, I overshot. But I feel like they played a little bit better than what their 9-8 record showed. But this year, the schedule, it's a little easier at some parts, and some parts it's a lot more difficult. You know, they got to play the Chiefs, and they got to play the Bills, and they got to play the 49ers. You know, when you win your division, you have to end up playing those other teams that finished first in their division as well. But they also get to play the AFC North. I think the AFC North is going to be pretty competitive this year. I would assume Cleveland will be better with another year of Deshaun Watson. I will assume Kenny Pickett will be better this year, you know, getting another year in Pittsburgh. But Baltimore and Cincinnati, I think, are going to be pretty tough opponents, obviously. And those are our two prime time games. Monday night against the Bengals, Sunday night 2 weeks later against the Ravens. And both of those will be home games, though, so that's sort of reassuring. You know, they don't have to go to Cincinnati, don't have to go to Baltimore. They get to stay in Jacksonville for those games. But they do get Kansas City week 2 as the home opener. That's, I think, going to be a tough home opener for sure, because Kansas City is going to get a couple extra days to prepare because they played the first game of the regular season. Not this Thursday, but the next Thursday. But Jacksonville also gets to play the NFC South, which is a division that was one of the worst divisions last year. None of those teams had a winning record. But typically when you see a team or a division that doesn't have a winning record, usually one of those teams the next season ends up with a winning, if I could say it right, winning record. You know, and who that team's going to be, I don't know, but I expect at least one of those teams to be pretty good. But I still don't have a whole lot of expectations out of the NFC South. And then, of course, we play in the AFC South, which means we get 2 games against teams that are, in a sense, in a rebuilding phase. Indianapolis, Houston Texans. I would even argue Tennessee's sort of in that category right now, too. They're in a very awkward spot right now. They're claiming that they're not in a rebuild, but they also cut a lot of veterans from the last season, so it's kind of like, what are you doing, Tennessee? What direction are you heading in? Overall, though, I think the Jaguars' offense is going to be elite. I don't think that's sort of a surprise. This was a top 10 offense last year, and I think they only got better through the offseason with the additions of Calvin Ridley, Tank Bigsby, Anton Harrison, and assuming that he makes the roster, I think Ernest Johnson is going to add something to that offense as well. Brenton Strange, the tight end they drafted in the second round, I think is also going to have a bit of an impact. And they all looked really good in the preseason, so the only issue I have with the offense is the depth at the offensive line. There's been some injuries that have occurred since the preseason started, but hopefully with the coming weeks they can get a chance to get healthy and will be ready to go week 1 against the Indianapolis Colts. Defensively, man, last year I thought that was going to be a top 5 unit, and they didn't even come close to that. Man, it's tough for me to put my finger on how good they're going to be, because on one hand, last year, they were shutting out opponents, causing a bunch of turnovers. They were getting after the quarterback, and there were some parts of last year they were like on the back of a milk carton. You didn't know where the hell they ended up. There were no-shows. So I would imagine, a second year under Mike Caldwell's system, naturally they would be better. Josh Allen's going into the last year of his contract. He's going to make sure he's playing at his best so that he can potentially make a big contract signing with either Jacksonville or some other team this upcoming free agency. I hope and somewhat expect some improvement from both Trayvon Walker and Devin Lloyd. They both had some flashes of brilliance last year, and they also had a lot of moments though where they were like, man, they got a lot of work to do. But hopefully, like I said, another year in the NFL, in the same system, naturally you would think they would get better. But of course, my biggest concern with the Jaguars has always been, A, are they going to be able to successfully get to the quarterback? And B, what's the plan at slot corner? Apparently they just waived Gregory Jr., so I guess it's going to be Trey Herndon again. I'm not too happy about that. I'm not too excited about that. Travis Kelce is going to eat us alive week 2. But all in all, like I mentioned earlier, the pass rush, I saw a statistic like they were second in the NFL last year, or tied for second for quarterback pressures. Yet they were in the bottom 10 at actual sacks on the quarterback. And that just tells me that, yeah, they're getting close, but the quarterback still has time to get rid of the football. Which, in some parts, it's because the secondary can't cover the receiver for long enough, or the offensive line that they're going up against just dominated them. And, I don't want to say we were spoiled by Saxonville, that 2017 defense for Jacksonville. I don't want to say we were spoiled, but man, ever since they got rid of Calais Campbell and Yannick Ngakoue in that 2020 offseason when they gutted the roster to try to tank for Trevor, man, they just can't get to the quarterback anymore. I mean, and they've tried, all right? They've tried to address this issue. They've drafted Trayvon Walker. 2020, they drafted Caleb Chason. But they brought in Arden Key for 1 year, and I really wish they brought him back because I felt like he was a key contributor to that pass rush unit. And now he's in Tennessee. God bless him. He's going to need all the help he can get at Tennessee. But, man, it's just, this defense it's one of the reasons why I don't think they're going to be the number 1 seed in the AFC, as some people are saying. I do think Jacksonville's going to win this division. I think they're going to make the playoffs and all this and that, and I think they're going to have a top 5, potentially a number 1 ranked offense in the NFL, but I think this defense is going to be a bit of an issue. I do. Now, granted, once you get into situations where offensively you're scoring 28, 30, 31, 34 points a game, naturally the defense, or the opposing team, I should say, if they're far behind, if they're down by 2 or 3 touchdowns, they're going to have to more than likely abandon the run game and be one-dimensional, throwing the football, and that's where defenses can pad their stats in a sense, getting sacks and play specific coverages that are good against passing opportunities, all that kind of stuff. But, man, I don't see that happening that often, because while I think, yeah, they're going to probably score 28 points, there's a chance they'll give up just as many points defensively. And that's why I think overall, I have them at around 10, 11 wins. I really want to say like 13 to 14 wins, but I think the defense is going to fall apart too many times to really confidently say, oh yeah, this is going to be one of the top teams in the AFC. I think they're at a point where, yes, they're probably going to win their division, but I don't know if they're a Super Bowl contender just yet, if that makes any sense. As much as I love this offense and think it's going to do a lot of great things, I think they're 1 or 2 pieces on the defense away from really being a true contender in the AFC. And maybe they make a trade during the regular season that alleviates one of these issues that I have. You know, maybe they trade for a Derek Burnett. I heard he's on the trade block, if you will, from Philadelphia. Maybe they go out and get another corner, that, provides some veteran presence and can play in the slot. I don't know. Maybe Trey Herndon plays better than we expect. I don't know. But all in all, that's my prediction video for you guys of how I think the Jaguars are going to do in 2023. 11-6, first in the AFC South, probably make it as far as maybe the divisional round. I would be surprised if they get to like the AFC Championship game and even the Super Bowl. Like even more surprised. But let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys sometime in the future. Maybe after week 1, before week 1, sometime around there. You'll see me again. Have a good one, guys. Thank you for watching.